I did my biographical sketch over Sarah Tapton Doolittle Lawrence Robinson. And this is a picture of her when she was younger. Her early life. She was born on July 12, 1827 in Belchertown, Massachusetts. And according to Wikipedia.org, her parents were named Myron Lawrence and Clarissa Dwight. According to the article Robinson Sarah Tapton Doolittle Lawrence by Deborah Kating, explains that growing up, Sarah had several brothers. She also went to the New Salem Academy and the Belchertown Classical School for her education. She was successful in French and German, as well as Latin. Her father was a prominent lawyer where the family lived. She married Charles Robinson, and this is a picture of him. According to Robinson Sarah Tapton Doolittle Lawrence by Deborah Kating, explains that she met Charles in 1843, and she had an accident where she fell down a flight of stairs, and Charles, who was a doctor, helped heal her. According to Sarah Lawrence Robinson from Kansas Historical Society, explains that they were married in October 1851, and once they were married, they lived in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and they had no children when they were married. The New England Immigrant Aid Society. Sarah and Charles Robinson were prominent Republicans who believed that slavery should not continue into northern states. According to the article Sarah Lawrence Robinson from the Kansas Historical Society, explains how they came to Kansas. When the Kansas-Nebraska Act was passed in 1854, the Robinsons, both committed to the cause of abolitionism, quickly identified themselves with the activities of the New England Immigrant Aid Society. Charles Robinson traveled to Kansas Territory in July 1854 to pick a settlement site for the company, and then returned to Boston to lead the second party of immigrants back to Kansas in September. Sarah Robinson followed her husband to Kansas in spring of 1855. Both of them believed in the Republican Party to help save the African American population. They used the New England Immigrant Aid Society to achieve their goal of bringing immigrants into a new environment that fit their qualifications. Sarah Robinson's book. In the book called Kansas, Its Interior and Exterior Life by Sarah Tapton Doolittle Lawrence Robinson from Hathi Trust explains how the winters were like in Kansas from Chapter 13. The winter in the Territory State Legislature. She says, February 10th. Still cold. How the weather prophets have all spoken falsely. The Indians and traders who have lived many years in the country have never seen a winter like this. Many people have frozen their feet so that for weeks they have been unable to walk. She explained her thoughts on the battles in Kansas as well in her book. The last thought of our waking hours is now the possibility that ere the morning's gray light and the fiendish yells of the brutal assassins may be heard at our own doors, crying for blood, but we sleep with the same quietude as in dear old New England homes, where safety was the rule and crime was met by swift-footed justice. Even this sense of insecurity is not without its use, for with the early waking comes a deep sense of thankfulness for another night safely passed Our home and friends still spared. Kansas Territory. In Sarah Robinson's book, she also explained her perspective on Kansas. She states, "It is indeed difficult to realize that for thousands of years this country has been a waste, uncultivated, and solitary, and that months only have elapsed since the white settler has sought here a home." She also mentioned her house in the Kansas Territory. The house is entirely of black walnut. The finished doors, window casings, and mantels of the same, all nicely polished. The paper of white satin with a neat flower in one room, while pretty wood colors and rosebuds and leaves cover other walls, and give the whole a pleasing contrast. And this is a picture of Charles Robinson, Sarah Robinson's husband, and he was a free stater, and he was arrested because of being a free stater, and along with other men in this picture as well in Kansas. Women's suffrage. Along with Sarah Robinson's support toward the Free State Party, she also signed her name for the women's suffrage movement. According to the document, Legislative Assembly Petitions for Women's Suffrage, 1859, from kansasmemory.org, explains taxation without representation. Sarah Robinson then signed her name, Sarah L. D. Robinson, along with a list of other names. And then here is my works cited. And then here is another page of works cited. And then that's my project.